Oh, it's so cute. I love him so much.
So much.
That's the seal.
That's the seal, yeah.
Still gets me every time. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Monsters Lounge. I'm Jenny.
I'm Tressa.
And with us, as per usual,
What?
exactly, our regular co-host.
The one that's here every week. Yep.
The abnormal one.
We have a really fun show because there's three of us now. Deal with that, suckers. That's how that's gonna go.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
That'll get us listeners and viewers. All of you.
People love us.
They do. We're talking weird animals.
Yeah, we are.
Mm-hmm.
What brought this up? Oh, yeah, because you like sharks, and they're weird.
Sharks, an extraordinary amount. And while I was on vacation last week, obviously I was like, let's talk about sharks the whole episode. I mean, I usually do that every week.
Yeah, you do.
Pertinent last week because I was seeing some.
And I was like, listen, I'll give it to you this time, but you need to stop. It's a lot. A lot.
Right.
A lot of sharks.
I know.
Well, you were swimming with them. I mean,
I mean, so it was a little bit more on my mind at that moment in time. And then it just sort of transitioned into weird animals as well.
Yeah. Of course. Because, I mean, we probably could talk about sharks the entire time, but
that's later. I have strict promises from Tressa that I will be able to do a Megalodon episode coming up here. Not too terribly long from now. So I figured that'll keep people interested. And then if I just work in a shark every so often in other episodes.
All right, just slip that shark in.
Yeah.
You feel satisfied, right? You'll feel seen.
Right. I will. I feel seen. I'll feel heard. And that way, anyone who has sharks might start sending them to me. Or giving me opportunities to see them. It's not a thing that people have.
That's great. Because, I mean, you never get to talk about Bigfoot or anything. So I'm glad that you also don't have this outlet for sharks.
Wait. What's your favorite shark, Jenny? Sorry, Tressa, but what's your favorite shark?
My favorite shark in all reality is the reef shark because I dove with them so very often and I love them so much. And they're very shark.
They're what? Very what shark?
They're very friendly shark.
Oh, how many do you have in your pockets right now?
Like 10.
I knew it. You got rid of one.
Sharks. They're kind of on the small side, but they're really beautiful and moderately curious.
Which one?
Leopard sharks.
Oh, they're so pretty.
I've seen a couple swimming in like the scariest place you could possibly swim, which is the Northern California coast. Which don't ask me why I went snorkeling there. I put my trust in somebody's hands and we made it out okay. But
did you also snorkel with a herd of like seal just for funsies, just to see what would?
Well, that's what attracted the sharks, turns out, the baby seals. Yeah. And so we're just like, oh, the kelp. It's so beautiful. Because so you think of, and I think like, especially those like colder parts of the Pacific Ocean, you just look and you think it's like murky, but you get in there and you see the kelp is like all of these shades of purple and there are all these like wild colors in there. And, you lose track really easily in the ocean of where you are. It's very disorientating, right? Like very easy to drift away. And we saw some baby seals. And so we were kind of like observing the baby seals and really enjoying that. And then saw leopard sharks shortly thereafter who were, they weren't coming after us, but they were circling the little babies, and the mom had gone off to catch them, whatever they catch, abalone or something. I don't know.
They weren't coming after you unless
not that time.
They don't have great eyesight and you look like a bunch of dumb baby seals. Then they're like,
right.
delicious.
You're basically wearing a wetsuit that looks exactly like a seal.
Right.
And,
right.
Yeah. I mean, I think I looked graceful in the water, but I know I didn't.
Like a seal. Ungraceful.
I mean, it's only like one of the main causes for like any sort of great white attack whatsoever is looking like a seal.
Right.
Yeah. It's not because they want to eat humans. It's because humans look like their favorite food.
I mean,
I'd eat a seal if I was a shark, right?
Of course, because that's just what you do.
Yeah.
And they're delicious. So of course you would.
Now this is weird because I just watched one of the videos of like the orcas going after the great whites. Yeah, they discovered this, and a lot of it happens like outside of Australia, right? Where these orcas have learned that great white shark liver contains the same kind of protein and enzyme that their most common food, which is rays, I think. It contains more in the liver than like a diet of, a couple of, I don't know what the conversion chart is. I don't know what
you don't have that up.
We're not doing math. Remember, we discussed this before we started. No math.
Right, not doing math, but say 1 liver equals 3 rays. And so they just tack and they launch up from below, and they figured out where the liver is housed in the great white. So they will bite and they will take those chunks out where the liver is. It's wild. It's so insane.
I just like that you describe where it is as being housed in the body. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I like that. It is housed in the body.
We're all just meat cars, right?
Yep. That's correct.
Just rip it in for a chunk of liver. And you don't need the rest. They just go straight for the liver.
They just go straight for the liver and they leave the rest.
They leave the rest. I mean, I gotta imagine that they know, like, it's got a scent or something, right?
It's gotta have something along those lines.
Liver smells disgusting in general, so
yeah. Or it's just taught.
Well, it might not be that precise, right? Like they have big mouths, so they can kind of just like get a good sized chunk, knowing that it's somewhere in that general area, and just.
I don't think they're performing surgery to get there.
They're not.
Something's happened to the shark's liver.
From it, yeah.
Can you prove they're not doing that, Jeni? Because
I can't prove it.
Okay,
I can't prove it. You're right.
Not yet.
You're right.
We can't prove it yet.
I'll get there. Yeah.
Jeni, yes.
I'd like to introduce my new GoFundMe, which is my research project into the surgical capabilities of the orca.
Oh, that's delightful. I will give you $5.
Perfect.
I have a couple of photos of goblin sharks burning a hole in my pocket.
Yes.
Do you got anything good about goblin sharks you want to tell us?
I love goblin sharks. They come from, first of all, what a cool name, right?
Rock, yeah.
Yeah. They're a rare deep sea shark. And they're direct descendants of something that's like 85 million years old. Like
direct descendants of something.
Direct descendants of something.
Yes.
So this is the face of one. This one is no longer alive, but you can see the jaw. So like when they feed, right, and they feed on like smaller prey, like smaller fish and whatnot, that jaw actually protrudes kind of out. And almost hits the edge of the platform.
What? Wait, of that bill thingy?
Yeah. That bill thingy is geared towards sensing like electromagnetic pulses, which is what sharks hunt with. It's not actually like that whole idea of like blood and whatnot, blood in the water.
Yeah, that was blood.
Bleeding in the water all the time, right? Yeah. What's really going after is the electromagnetic pulse of a fish that's struggling. They can sense like the heart rate increasing and all of that stuff. So that's what they primarily go after. But the goblin shark is wicked.
They're robots then, is what you're telling us?
Yeah. So that's an actual picture of one that is still alive.
That one looks more dead than the other one.
I know, right? So those jaws.
I think it's just the flash of the camera.
I'm okay.
Yeah, so the jaws of those things come kind of protruding out. And they've been captured here and there just with deep sea fishing, but not to any great extent. Like they're way down there, and they're about 10 to 13 feet long.
Okay.
And their skin is actually kind of a pink color.
Yeah.
What do they taste like?
Not good. They're not a good like fishing fish. They're not a good eating fish.
Eating fish. So good for eating. I would be devastated if somebody was like hunting a goblin shark. Like, let it be.
I know, they're so cool.
Such an amazing adaptation.
Right?
Where does it live?
It lives very, very deep sea. So
in water.
Like trench. Yeah, water.
In the ocean.
In the water, Tressa.
No, I meant, is there a specific ocean that is usually seen in?
I think
part of the world.
Actually in the Atlantic, aren't they?
Yeah, they're in the Atlantic. They have been spotted, or one or two caught in the Pacific. They're not by any chance or by any stretch like a very localized sort of shark community.
Yeah, they like it down near the bottom in the dark.
Yep. In the very, very dark. Yeah, the only time that there's been like a mass sighting of them was just prior to a deep ocean earthquake.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's like some that just reminds me of that anglerfish that just got caught on camera going up to the surface and also died. But how crazy.
Or the oarfish, those big giant oarfish that would like
come up,
wash ashore. Yes. And then like I think before the huge earthquake followed by the tsunami in Japan a number of years ago, there was like this rash of oarfish that had washed up, I think, on the shores in Southern California, actually.
Yeah, so that's every time
we're out of here. Oh!
Yeah, every time they wash up, everyone's like, "Oop, something bad's about to happen."
Something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah. And prior to that, those things are so big and so strange looking that they were mistaken a lot of times for sea monsters.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that's like, you get some of the like great those early map drawings, and you see these things that were, the Kraken and these like wild creatures, and they would more than likely people who encountered those 600, 700, 800 years ago, they probably had like washed up or something, the odds that they were near the surface. But they would see those things, or like sea serpents, and we know like those oarfish get to be 15, 20 feet long, and boats were smaller then, right? You didn't have like these massive shipping vessels. Boats were fairly small, so those things I think had more room to roam, less predators, got bigger, and the boats were smaller. So yeah, a tentacle could absolutely reach up and pull you down. You have those like Humboldt squid off the coast of the Pacific coast, off the coast of like California and Mexico. Yeah. And they're really, really aggressive.
Yes, they are super aggressive. Like divers have been captured.
Yes, fishermen have had their boats, like a tentacle will come up. And, if you have a small fishing, like a, little like rowboat or something, that will completely capsize you. Yeah. That could be a case of mistaken identity. Again, like the, sharks thinking that it might be a seal or something. But so it's not like that, those myths aren't like really that mythological, right? They're not that far-fetched. But the Humboldt squid are super aggressive. They do tend to kind of, they actually sort of go in packs also, and they've been known to hunt, and they will hunt people if need be, but it's usually like they're going after like a seal, or they're just getting aggressive. I think it's usually because there's they're hungry, there's no food there, so
I like to believe that sometimes like some species of a particular like animal are just jerks, right?
Yeah,
like the bull shark.
Yeah, like people. Yeah.
Like people, exactly. Like the bull shark is just a jerk, right? Yeah. There was just a story out about a woman like losing her hands because she was trying to take a picture with a shark, but it happened to be like a bull shark, like, and it was in shallow water, and those guys just attack. Like those are the ones that were
they hate selfies.
They like selfies. They really do. They don't like being
anti-Instagram for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
They're the ones that killed. Yeah, those are the ones that killed like maybe, I don't know, like 100 years ago or something along those lines, like a couple of kids in St. Louis, like in the Mississippi.
Oh, in like an aquarium or something?
No. So bull sharks have this interesting ability to survive on way less salinity in the water than any other species of shark, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But they will get further up into fresh water than average shark can.
What are you saying right now? That's insane. I don't like it at all.
Or something? Do they go up the like?
Yeah, what? so they swam up the Mississippi, and they'll do it on occasion, but usually not that far.
Yeah, that was.
And they were starving.
They're like, let's see what's up here.
Yeah, there's a whole book about it that I don't know the title to, but I will
Thank
find
you
that.
Then for bringing it up.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for pointing us in that direction. The creature that I was just gonna say the creature that I love, and I don't. We should like try and find a picture of this. Sorry, I didn't tell you in advance. But the vampire squid from hell. Since we were just talking about squids, like it's literally like that's what its name translates to, is vampire squid from hell. Can't remember the name off the top of my head. It's probably in my book. I can look it up. But it does this amazing thing. So, I thought of it because Jenny, you were talking about how like the goblin sharks are way, way, way down in the deep waters, and it actually has this trick. It's called pumpkining. I mean, it's like really like the ultimate goth animal here. It's called pumpkining, and it actually will like fold up inside of itself so that it looks like a pumpkin. And on the end of each of its tentacles, it has bioluminescent spots. So it totally like throws off its predators or its prey. And they think, oh, the eyes are over here. No, the eyes are over here. And then they don't have like aggressive teeth like a shark. They just sort of swallow it and digest it.
So
and those
phenomenal.
were again like very sort of a more recent discovery. I mean, I think like probably in the last 20, 30 years, because they are so far down in the ocean. They're not something that are seen that frequently. But I can't remember the scientific name for it, but it translates to, there we are, vampire squid from hell.
You are welcome.
There it is.
And listen,
they're really cute.
They are kind of adorable.
They're totally cute. And when they pumpkin, oh my God, they look like little floating pumpkins. They're absolutely adorable. They're magnificent.
That is adorable.
Remarkable stuff.
Vampyrotiaphis infernalis.
Infernalis, that's it. That means of hell.
That is also adorable.
Yeah.
Stop it.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
Listen, I think I got one more for us here to look at. Possibly a little bit of pumpkining. Come on, load. A little bit.
Yeah, that's a little more of like a squashing there, a little bit.
Yes, it's like a squash flower.
More like a long squash form, but you get the idea.
Yes. Oh, so cute. And such a nice deep color of red. So pretty.
Yeah, beautiful creatures. And they're not like, particularly aggressive toward people or anything like that. That's just part of their adaptation to not get eaten by goblin sharks or whatever else is dwelling way down there. It's very competitive down at the bottom of the ocean, right?
I mean, nature in general. That's why I don't go outside. Everyone is just looking to eat you, right? That's what they say.
Everyone, everything. Something's going to give you a rash. So,
everything is.
I'm going to poison you.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of poisoning.
For those of you naysayers, I want you to know how much I appreciate how many of you grabbed a hold of my small package after last week's show. It is out and available. You can get both of my books, The Other Side, A Guide to the Paranormal and Ghost Hunting, and my brand new book, Theater of the Mind, Tales from the Darkness. Both books are out. One, of course, kind of a how-to ghost hunt book, and the other story book of strange supernatural occurrences all around the world. You can get your hand on my small package by just ordering it right off of my website. You can go right to paranormal60.com, scroll down on the front page there, or go to the shop and scroll down and you'll see our book bundle. And I was so humbled by the fact of how many men put their hands on my small package at the end of last week's show and bought it. It was great. It made me feel loved and wanted. I'm not going to lie.
And by poisoning, I of course meant with entertainment.
I've heard that saying before, multiple times, in fact.
Oh, I thought I came up with it. Okay, that's fine. Hey,
poison
Jeni,
with affection, poison with love.
Exactly. It just means you are absorbed with it and enjoy yourself, right? I think so.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Right.
Jeni, what's this a picture of? Well, who's this guy?
A picture of that's a picture of a frilled shark, which I also adore because just look at it.
Look at it. It has a very mermaid-like suppleness to it.
Fancy back area, like fins.
Back area. He's a little derpy in the face.
It almost looks like it has a spine or something, like the way the lines come out there.
He works out, and he's got a pretty skirt.
He's got, like, inside that mouth, though, like, it's wild. Like, do you see all those lines? Like, those are all teeth. Yeah. Like, there's just, like, rows of them, right?
But and, like, the teeth, usually... Are the teeth shaped all crazy, or are those a bunch of different teeth?
It's a bunch of different... it's a bunch of different teeth, right?
Oh, look how they're arranged in there. Yeah. That's remarkable.
So like normally shark teeth just sort of cycle. It's almost like on a wheel, right? Like if you were turning whatever, like a typewriter thing or something. Yeah. I said because I'm 80.
Carriage.
The carriage. And the teeth fall out, and then the new ones sort of pop up to replace them. Well, this guy's got a bunch of teeth all at once, so it's a little bit terrifying.
I've never seen that shark before, but it does have a really, like, you could see, I mean, you get a lot of, a lot of history says, like, manatees were responsible for some early mermaid sightings.
Oh, really? I haven't heard that before.
God bless it. She's gonna say it, isn't she? Okay.
Specifically about Columbus saying that they were that pretty, and he probably totally did it with one, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, come on, you've got a little bit of scurvy. You've been on a ship for
you're already an idiot. So
you really want to conquer something? You're ready to
conquer. Goodness.
Listen, you're at sea for a very long time.
Under a directive to conquer.
So that's not what conquering means, Columbus. That's something different. Put it away. That is a sea creature.
Right. Let's get back to the frilled shark, shall we?
Yes, please.
All right.
Yeah, so they don't know about these guys very much because they're not usually captured and studied. So they have like 6 gills or 6 gill shark, which is neat. And they're not caught very often.
Wait, well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you just said, but also because I was going to ask this question, what's the regular amount of gills for a shark?
I think like 5, right?
Oh,
sounds right.
Yeah, I think there's 5 because then there's like a very specific 6 gill shark, which is also like there's a bunch of deep sea sharks floating around out there. Quite honestly,
deep sea
more than we realize, though, right? Because I think we just think of like Jaws,
right?
The great white.
Right.
But we don't really always think of the many. I mean, there's so many different species.
Is it the Greenland shark? Is that even a shark that can be like 600 years old or something?
That they didn't discover until we had or didn't, know 100% that it existed until they found footage of it from a deep sea sub.
Are we talking too much about sharks right now? I feel like
I'll let you guys branch off into something else, but
we talked about squids. Come on.
That's true.
Yeah.
Here's my favorite sea creature.
Aww.
Look at how cute. So anyway, about sharks, they really do.
Jeni.
They love eating those guys.
Listen, Hoover. I don't know a whole lot about Hoover, but boy, I just want to grab those whiskers and just give him a little kiss. He sounds like a plumber in New York. I love him so much.
All right, can we have a little bit of a story about him? Like Hoover is a talking seal? Is that what's happening?
Yep. They found him, and they were like, let's find his mom. We don't know where his mom is. They couldn't find the mom, so they kept him in captivity, and he was raised by a guy that sounded like a plumber in New York, and they would always get yelled at and stuff, and people would come and see him and throw stuff at him, and he'd be like, no, no. Like that.
What do you want?
Where was it that people were throwing things at him?
Like there's hand gestures involved when his flippers are like, oh, wow.
Yeah, see? Yes, because he's in New York. Exactly. Let's see. The swallows kept him in their bathtub, but this proved to be too inconvenient within a few days. As such, George Swallow moved him out back to a spring-fed pond where he set up a pup tent. You guys get it? Enclosed by a wire fence. Hoover lived there very much like a family dog and even accompanied George riding into town with his head poking out of the window. Adorable!
A joy
Oh my
ride.
God, I want a seal.
Joyride with the
this is actually yeah, this is actually in Portland, Maine, not New York, but it sounds okay. So George would sorry,
your accent, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
The main draw.
Talked about like nor'easters and things, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Talking about storms coming.
Alice Swallow recalls in her book Hoover, the Seal, and George, that guy. If George was late in giving Hoover his breakfast, he found his way to the back steps. George would yell, "Hello there," like in that voice. And George and Hoover were great friends. Sometimes Hoover would hide and would not appear until George yelled, "Get out of there and come over here." So obviously, he's going to pick up this way of talking from the guy that gives him the most attention, and this guy just sounds like a jerk. And I love that very much for him. They just had a very
bully. Yeah.
"Hey, get out of there. What are you doing?"
So how long did they have this? They keep him as a pet. Like how long did he stay with them?
He was a while. He was born in 1971, and that's around the time when they found him, and he died in 1985.
So wow. Okay.
But he was at the New England Aquarium. When was that? Well, he went there sometime.
No, he had appearances, right? Appearances at the aquarium.
I think that he ended up living there because, how are you going to have a seal for a pet? That's a lot.
Well, but isn't there there's this, whether you're into it or not, but there's sort of a long-standing tradition of seals in circuses. Like you see seals, you see all those old circus images, and there's a seal balancing the ball on its nose and doing tricks and coming out and clapping and so there is this sort of especially in the 70s anything went. So especially there'd be this
oh my God. Everybody had a lion apparently in the 70s too.
Or they bring a lion into your town and you could pet it, and just their relationship with animals was a little different then, but you could see it because someone might say, well, oh, okay, well, we rescued this, and every once in a while you learn about people who have an unusual pet like that, like a raccoon or something that you're really not supposed to domesticate, but it really likes me. And of course we're humans, so we anthropomorphize everything, right? So of course we want everything to have cute baby names and all that kind of stuff. And every once in a while a scientist comes along and is like, we're calling this by its scientific name and we're just going to call it 0178 or something, and you're just like, oh, come on, name it Bobby.
Yes.
Bobby.
It's Hoover. I want to listen to the sound one more time to see if I can actually make out him saying, "Get over here," or "Hello there," like he does. Hold on. Oh, it's so cute. I love him so much.
So much.
Is that the seal or the man? That's the seal.
That's the seal, yeah.
Yeah. I know. First of all, we've discovered exactly how I'm going to get you to go anywhere.
Oh, that's how you go.
Get out of there. Get out of there.
Also, oh my God, is Dave Schrader in the room?
It's very similar to my Dave Schrader impersonation, which is exactly
spot on. Spot on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You just have to offer you a treat though, like something shiny or like a yummy.
That also works.
I always offer tiny thimblefuls of soup to leave.
I love those.
That's all you need today, darling.
Yeah, she does love soup, and
soup is great.
So really, it's a combination. And then I just go, "Come on, Tressa, get out of there!
Get out of here! Hey, hello there!" And I'm like, "Hey, what's going on? I love it."
And suddenly you're outside.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Damn it, it's cold." All right, you guys. I tried to talk about this the other night, and everyone looked at me like I was a crazy person, but Varla didn't when I brought it up. Let's talk about
time and place, Tressa. Time and place. When you bring something like that out of context, yes, people might look at you a little bit strangely.
Well, I think
never
that
would. For the record, there's always a time.
Thank you. I was about to say,
Viola is a much better friend to you than I am.
It's not a competition, Jenny.
It's always a competition.
As far as I'm concerned, it is always time to talk about a headless chicken that lived for 18 months.
Yep. Or a chicken bomb.
There he is.
Mike! Mike! Listen, look
Why did they save the head?
Because...
Proof that it matched.
Had one? They didn't just cut off any chicken's head. That's his right there.
His name. I have his name. I know his last name is Olson. What was his first name?
Was it Olson?
Find him. Yeah, his name was. Lloyd Olson.
It looks like
this is in 1945. This photo would have been from, or possibly in 1946, because we don't know the month he attempted to kill the chicken.
It looks like a nice spring day.
Yeah,
sure does.
Yeah, right. There's
I don't think that was the exact day that he did it, but
no.
Hey, look at this chicken.
Well, why don't you explain the story though? Because it's pretty.
Oh, you wrote the book, but look, he's got a suit on. He's like, I just tried to butcher this chicken. Check it out, it's still alive. I was wearing a suit. Jeni, that doesn't make any sense.
He made a good deal of money on this. He did. Okay, so. For people who don't know about Mike the Headless Wonder Chicken, what happened is a farmer named Lloyd Olson in Fruita, Colorado, in 1945, he went to behead a chicken, as one does. He went to butcher a chicken, went into his barnyard to butcher a chicken, and this chicken literally ran around with its head cut off. It did not die. Apparently, it's because he was sort of bad with the axe and he didn't get the jugular vein, so it didn't bleed out, because that's usually how chickens bleed. Gosh, sorry, people. Should come with a trigger warning. So it took off running, basically, and he proceeded to feed this chicken via eyedropper down its esophagus.
Yeah.
It lived for 18 months without a head.
Yeah.
And it actually gained weight. That's the remark. Yes, it gained weight. He flourished in over the next 18 months. Olson continued to use an eyedropper. Sorry, this is from my book, The Book of the Bizarre.
Thank you.
Over the next 18 months, Olson continued to use an eyedropper to feed the bird, but he was using a sort of a mush of grain and water that he would drop in there, right down the esophagus. And he flourished in spite of this handicap, growing from 2.5 pounds to a robust 18 pounds. So that picture, I think that second picture is looking rather robust, I would say.
So did he die eventually because of the injury, or did he have a heart attack because he got a little bit too robust?
I believe it's
Oh, yes. Go ahead, Tressa. Go ahead. You know it.
From what I don't know that I do. From what I remember, though, I thought it choked or something. Am I wrong?
Did.
No.
I shouldn't laugh, but it did. Unfortunately, Mike's miraculous life came to an abrupt end in an Arizona hotel.
Oh.
The rooster choked, and Olson was unable to find an eyedropper to clear his feathered friend's throat.
Oh, you didn't know about the Heimlich yet.
Oh, I mean, I know that's so brutal at an Arizona hotel. So he did. He went on tour. So he had people stopping by to see this chicken. And remember, this is sideshow. This is like peak traveling sideshow days, right? So he traveled around with this chicken, and people came to see it, and they would pay money. And he made. So you saw that nice suit. I suspect that was after the chicken had gone on tour for a while.
Yeah, that chicken looked like it was at least 18 pounds. So it had been a while.
Hefty looking, yeah.
Is it wrong that I wished that right after, like, you know, he died in an Arizona hotel room with a prostitute? Like, I really I wanted.
I mean,
a little bit more.
I mean, we could just start that rumor.
Yeah, I wanted a little bit more like pizzazz to the ending.
Arizona motel. I think if it was a motel, that would
motel.
Yes,
that would definitely
roadside.
Okay.
All outdoors.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then we've learned that they actually continue to have a festival every year in Fruita, Colorado, and we looked it up this morning to determine it's still happening, because I wrote about this in, like, I think it was 2008, that there was it's usually at the end of May, and in fact it is happening this year, May 30th and 31st in Fruita, Colorado. And it's called Mike's Festival. There's an art contest where you can enter to win, I think it's like a $500 prize for drawing something really remarkable. This is its 25th anniversary, something really remarkable, like Mike in a lounge chair or something, you know.
Of course, yeah.
I think it does need to involve headless chicken. And then they have a chicken dance contest and a 5K.
How much is it to register for that, Jenny? What did you pay for that?
$25.
$25. $2,500.
No, $25.
You can be a vendor. You could sell. We could make T-shirts specifically for this.
Yes, branded.
I feel like yes. I feel like yes. This is a good idea.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Oh, and also the website calls it attending this fun family event is a no-brainer. No brain.
Woof.
So proof that you don't need a brain to survive. I don't think we need the chicken to prove that. I think we have.
No, welcome to 2025.
Right,
wandering around, just amongst the rest of us.
Sad air horn. Sad air horn.
Very sad air horn.
Reality.
Okay.
Let's get back to talking animals.
Okay. You know what? I want to hear about zombified junk.
Oh, yes.
Right after this.
Oh, hey, Tressa. Jeni? Oh, I'm just reading my book by international TV sensation, Dave Schrader. I'm reading the book, too. I don't remember the name of it or who wrote it, but yeah. There. I like your shirt. I got it on monstersloungepodcast.com. You've got a great shirt too. Oh, that's so weird. I got it at monstersloungepodcast.com too. They have really great stuff. A whole variety. I know, right? They have everything. Shirts. Tote bags. Clutches. A phone case, I think. It's the best.
Hilarious every time. Hilarious every time.
Yeah, so and good. I watch it every time like it's the first time.
I do too.
Speechless.
I do too. Yeah.
I love the pause right after that. Everyone just needs to gather their thoughts, get back into reality, and just sit with it for a minute, because it's so artistic and beautiful.
It really is.
While they're looking up monstersloungepodcast.com.
That's right. That's right. And buying merchandise.
That's what I do. Yeah, we've got a lot of really cool stuff on there. I'm just saying.
A whole variety.
Yeah. Anyway. Seriously. All right. So what about bugs?
I didn't say bugs, but yeah, it is bugs.
Oh, that's weird.
We got a whole
I was thinking about bugs.
Last of Us cordyceps situation going on with. Well, let's talk about the ants first.
Okay, well, so we have a couple different. Look at that.
Yuck.
Okay. So there's a fungus that is known to infect ants, such as that, as well as recently this same cordyceps fungus was found in certain caves in Ireland, infecting some spiders.
Christ.
Which is sad because I don't know about you guys, but I love spiders. So but I also love fungus. So I'm kind of like, oh, I love the fact that you're zombifying them, but sort of I'm conflicted about this story.
Real Sophie's choice for you there.
What do I love more?
It's tough.
A fungus that infects and turns something into a zombie, or the zombie itself. It's hard to know.
I'm gonna go cordyceps on that one. I mean, come on.
I mean, look at it. Yes, it's pretty magnificent. It kind of it's just sort of takes over their brains and eats their brains. Right.
Sprouts.
So there's one taking on the it almost looks like a little brain sprouting out of it too.
It does.
Taking on the ant, and then of course the spiders kind of get this like sort of semi-disgusting furry head. The one in Ireland that was recently discovered. Yeah, look at that. Now
that's that one, right? Like the more recent one.
Yes, this was. I just read this article like within the last few weeks that they discovered that the same type of fungus, the cordyceps, was discovered in a cave in Ireland. It's sort of like an isolated thing, and it was infecting these like native orb weaver spiders. Which orb weavers, if you aren't familiar with an orb weaver, they are remarkable spiders. They make these incredibly strong, remarkably strong webs. If you ever find one in your yard and you like touch the web, it's like a little hammock or something. It's very, very strong.
Mm-hmm. Are they kind of bigger spiders?
They are a bit bigger, yeah. I'd say quarter sized or so. Maybe they can get a bit bigger. And around here, and like where I grew up, we have golden orb weavers, which are just absolutely gorgeous, sort of golden colored spiders. But again, I love spiders, so I think they're beautiful.
I used to have an orb weaver that was every year. I'm sure it wasn't the same one, but I would have one that would make a huge web on my front door, but like in a way where we could still go in and out, like whatever. Oh, but it was always George or George Jr. or George III. He was always George to me.
Oh, I just had one this last summer in my mailbox. So a lot of people might say, oh, there's a spider in my mailbox. I'm reaching in and there's a spider in there. But I was just like, oh my gosh, that spider is amazing. And can I put a note up for the mail carrier to like, just leave my mail on the ground. don't disturb the orb weaver.
That's his house now.
Now. Yeah.
We had prairie spiders when I was a kid. When we were out in the country, we built a couple of acres of prairie one year. And so we'd get like these spiders, and they were a good size with legs, real pretty sort of yellow color with black on them, and their webs, like the tensile strength was just crazy.
I wonder if they're related to orb weavers or in the same.
I think they were. I think there were some sort of grass orb.
Grass orb. Yeah. Grass orb.
Yeah.
They are amazing. I learned this. Well, I was told this when I moved to Minnesota. Because I grew up in California, where there are many, many venomous things that will kill you, including brown recluse, which are always in the bottom of like a wood pile or something, and of course lots and lots of black widows. And when I moved to Minnesota, someone said, "Oh, yeah, we don't have venomous spiders here," and I was like, "Wait, what? Oh, I don't understand that."
Oh, why?
You do now.
Hello.
Introduced. Okay. So.
Get over here.
Get out here. Okay, so that's one kind of like zombie thing that happens. It happens to ants and it happens to spiders and probably other species that we just don't know about. And that's a bit more like nature. Like it's not like, some sort of horrible thing that just sort of the way things go. What happens actually is that the cordyceps then are able to spread that way. So a spider is crawling away and it's going all over the place, and it gets out of the cave and it will then it's a fungi, so the spores are microscopic and they go everywhere, and so then those are distributed, and then you have like the survival of that species. So it's a survival tactic. It's not pollinating, it's like the opposite of pollinating. But it still works. You just got to do it. But then the other one that we were talking about is these like this, it was like kind of like a bot fly, and this was studied years ago at Texas A&M University, because fire ants are like a huge problem in the South. And I don't know if you've ever stomped on a grave in the South, but a fire, like just saying,
I've gotten bit by one once, and it was not a pleasant experience.
Oh, they're horrible. Well, they come out like all of a sudden they're just all over you, and so it can be it's pretty, it's hard. They're hard to control. There's of course you can use like some pretty heavy toxins, but people are always looking for more natural ways. So one of the more natural ways was to introduce this bot fly from South America, which this literally like you take a page out of like a science fiction horror. And this fly will lay its eggs basically on the ant and the fire ant, and then the larvae sort of like worm their way into the ant's brain, and it will eat all of the brains of the fire ant, and then the fire ant is just sort of being kind of controlled by these like larvae that are oozing around in what remains of its brain, until eventually it dies, and then the larvae hatch because they've got this nice little incubator inside the ant. The ant dies, it hatches, and the cycle continues. And so it's a biological means of control.
Because it works so well. I mean, we have case after case where if you introduce a foreign biological entity into not its environment, it
always goes really well. It works out really well for especially for endangered species.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Listen, if anything bad happens, you just bring a bigger thing that will take over the thing you brought in. That's how it works.
Absolutely.
Right. You just
keep doing that until
you basically
kill
until you have us.
Right. By the way, I mean, I've got some mosquitoes that I'm pretty sure they're fossilized and they might have some dinosaur DNA.
Sweet.
Did you guys want to start messing around with that a little bit?
Yes. Yesterday.
I think we should kind of grind it down. Maybe add something to it. Oh, snort. I was gonna say put it in a spoon and cook it, but all right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Good show, guys. Good show.
We do not, here at Monsters Lounge Podcast.com, we do not condone or endorse the use of any illicit substances.
No, unless they're petrified mosquitoes, then who knows if it's bad or not? You got to test it out for yourself.
There's only one way to find out, and I think we all know what that way is.
Snorting
it. Tressa and see what happens.
Yes.
It's usually my go-to. Here, try this.
Okay.
Snort it. Right over to us. Here, try this cookie.
Snort it. Okay.
Try this drink. Yeah.
Snort it. Okay.
Seems normal.
Now it's a sound bite.
And you're welcome.
I would just like to say, for the record, I do not do drugs that you have to snort. I don't do drugs really at all, except for the ones that I am prescribed.
I don't really do drugs. Like, I mean,
I think you just could have concluded by not talking about it anymore. But,
but also I definitely don't drink all the time. I do not.
It's true. You are sober for this show. You are every week. You are sober for this show.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Anyway, is that it for crazy, wacky animals of the week, or what?
Surely we have more, right?
I mean, there's a ton more that we could talk about, but we could also just do a part 2 too. So,
Part 2, Varla, you want to come back and do a part 2 in like a month or something?
Yes.
Did you say pass? Rude.
Pass. Yes.
Nope. Goodbye.
Love you,
and
did you not hear me? I said I love you.
We love you.
Yay.
Well, this is wildly entertaining for us.
It really was.
Yes, for us.
Absolutely.
That's what's important.
People probably learn things, at least about sharks.
Maybe.
I mean, I learned things about sharks.
I learned things about sharks.
And then bugs. I learned things about bugs.
Things you can't unlearn. Now you know
exactly.
this. And it kind of makes your like forehead hurt a little bit. Right?
My forehead feels like it's swelling with knowledge now.
It kind of looks that way too.
Oh, thank you.
I know.
Thank you.
God, you are smart. Look at that forehead.
Yeah.
I know. I have the smartest forehead.
It's like so much space for the brain, the zombie things to get in, and
Yes, that's what I've been like putting a balloon in there to plump it up to make room for cordyceps. I think that's a good plan, right?
Yeah, actually, cordyceps do have a lot of medicinal properties.
Hello.
It can be very good for snorting. Oh yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Chocolate, nice to eat before bed.
Bed.
I still.
Jeni, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a lovely show. Everybody else, email us, check out our website, buy our merch, and our socials. We do fun stuff, and maybe we'll do even more stuff if you tell us to. I don't know. Bye. Thanks for joining us. Bye.